Good morning, wonderful day. More nuggets? Yes, we're going to give some more nuggets. This time we're going to do it out of Galatians 5:1, and we're going to work with section C. And section C talks about, well, let's just do the whole thing. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free. Be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. And so where I want to work from and talk about elite focus is entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Now, if you look at certain versions, it talks about forms of slavery, loyalty. It talks about tradition. It talks about man being trapped by the other desires of another person. And it keeps you from a healthy and a spiritual relationship with God. So we're going to talk about elite focus. And so when he says this, he says, now, once God has set you in a precedence that you can grow, you're going to have to turn around and understand the value of positioning yourself and at the same time repositioning yourself. Because as you grow, you're going to need a bigger pot. If you got a plant, you're going to need a bigger space. If you've got more children, you're going to need more. So then why do you try to run your life out of a small box? Why? Why do you look at your business as a small business? There's a thing, if you go to Shark Tank, it talks about scaling up. What have you set down? Because most people, their DNA is to physically work. But there's another form of work that's called mental work. And then there's a thing called vision and visionary. So you've got to determine where you are on the scale. If you think you have enough, keep living, you'll find out you don't. So when it says elite focus, it is, what are you going to do in this transitional period? We talked about transitional information. What are you going to do? What are you going to sit down? Are you going to invite wise counsel to come and infuse you? We talked about earlier the ability to have the right minerals, the right ingredients, the right fertilizer, the right things in order to grow. But for some things to grow, you have to be in position. I understand your want, but do you understand the process in order to get what you want that turns into a reality? So here's the thing, elite focus. Now, thank all of you who like, shared, and post. Please continue to do. It excited me and infused me. I felt as though I learned something as well. I want to talk about elite focus. Number one, this is for the writers. Don't play down to your opponents. I'm going to say it, don't play down. Don't manipulate your gift. Don't dim your light for other people. It doesn't mean that you're not humble. I was looking up in Philippians when Paul talks about, I press toward a mark of a prize of a high calling. And I was looking at that as elite focus, but then I came back to this for the simple fact that many times you try to be less. I don't know how you start out at less and become more. I think people need to understand, and if they can embrace your gifts and your talents, maybe that's not your person. What do you mean? You don't need another person in your life trying to minimize you. I'm going to let that sink in. You don't need another group. You don't need another family member to minimize, because no one's feeling that pain, that struggle, that birthing, that surviving to thriving but you. So don't minimize. You've worked hard. You've gotten your certification. You've gotten your additional skill set. Don't play down to make people feel comfortable, because what you're doing is you're cutting off a light that God has given you to shine in dark places and in places that don't have the thing. I can't say it's the most popular thing, but one of the things is daylight bulb. It's different than the old just yellow bulb. You are a daylight bulb. Quit dimming your light because of your adversary or trying to be on the level of people. Now, when you talk about level of people, as long as you're humble, as long as you have humanity in front of you, and as long as you have grace, you're not being arrogant. You're not being cocky. You are being confident. And if you don't walk with confidence, you won't walk at all. If you listen to today's society, if you don't walk in confidence, it's not that you're bragging. Some people don't know the difference between bragging and a person that is excited about life. Because if you're happy, all of a sudden you're something that you're not. Elite focus requires you to focus on your task, not on who's around you and what he or she desires or wants. So, number one, don't play down. Don't dim your light for other people's life. Don't play down to people. Don't act like, oh, well, this, so. No. See, if you remember, life and death is in the power of the tongue. You speak negative, you birth negative. You talk negative, you be negative. You speak positive, you become creative. Why? Because you were created by the Creator. So you can create. If you don't see yourself there, no one's going to drag you there. I'm going to say that again. If you don't see yourself there, nobody. And if they take you, the only thing you will be is a patent you. You will carry their assignment, never your own. It's important to know who you are. Number 2, do not get offended and do not quit when you're facing delayed gratification. Do not. Number 2, do not just, oh man, this stuff. Stop saying, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And that is a true statement. It sounds like a cliche, but it's really true. Yes, getting your first home. Yes, getting from part A to part B. Yes, going back to school. If it was easy, everybody would be back in school. You have to understand your assignment is not about easy. Your assignment is about completing, finishing. That's your assignment. God never promised you that it's going to be a walkover. But he did promise you that he will stick with you and he will deliver the creativity. But you have to be the vessel that does the work. So I want you to know, do not be upset about delayed gratification. Delayed gratification, sometimes that means you invest more than you receive. Delayed gratification means sometimes you look up and your bank account is empty. You don't know how it's going to get done. It is delay. Part of delay is growth. Part of delay is trusting. Part of delay is building. Part of delay is humility. Part of delay is allowing God to let you know if you follow him. David said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken nor a seed begging bread. If you follow them and if you follow you, you will not position yourself for it to be a God stance versus a human control. So don't fight delayed gratification. Don't even fight setbacks. Oh my God, I'm working on one myself. Today's about nuggets. I was told about, I think it's 1 Thessalonians 5:18 about, in all things give thanks. I'm going to have to grow up to that one. Yes, I'm going to have to grow into that one. And all circumstances, give thanks. I'm working on that one. So don't ever think that, leadership is perfect and everything goes well for him or them. No, we have to grow and overcome too. Now, here's the thing. Delayed gratification versus immediate gratification. There's some things that will happen easy. There's some things that'll just click. You'll hit a window, you'll hit a stride, you're in rhythm, you're getting good. Don't let that dim your faith. Remember, this is a journey, not an event. I'll say it again. Remember, this is a journey, not an event. An event can play with your emotions and then let you down, and you have not made it to the finish line of your journey. So I want you to understand that, embrace that. Immediate gratification. Many people are just, they got to have it now. Those are impatient people. And if you will do your homework, they have no roots. They have nothing that is solidified. Everything with them is spontaneous. And anytime that you work with combustible things, it's spontaneous that it might bust at any time. You want to plant seeds. You want to have fertilizer. You want to have land. You want to have something that can produce. So that can be your skill set. That can be your talent. Regardless of what it is. If it earns an earnest living, do not shrug your shoulders at your gifts. Now, this is a day for nuggets. Now, I want to share with you number 3. This is hard. This is hard. This is hard. This is hard. Woo! Not to be bothered by distractions. It's like they grow on trees and the wind blows them. And you don't even ask for them, look for them. But before you know it, you're in a fog. You got all this crazy stuff going on. You have all these things. Those are distractions. Why? 1 to 3 of them are trying to stick to you. They stick to you by you inviting them in your sight, in your hearing, and speaking it. And so you cannot invite distractions anymore. I think there's a wonderful thing. I don't want to insult anybody, but I know it was shown on the Oprah, I think it's her next podcast, when a lady said, let them. I haven't finished it, so I can't comment on it. But sometimes you have to let them. You have to let people go. You have to let, we're not even going to talk about it. Somebody hit me in the liver yesterday on some stuff. They know, if they're watching, they know it was about sports. And so I just say, sometimes you have to really know you can't allow yourself to give yourself to things that cannot give back to you. Okay? I'll just leave it that way. Number 4, maximizing processes. Woo! Many people who want to be successful don't want to write anything down. Maximizing processes. Learn the process. If it works for them, it'll work for you. Without the process, you're just running in sand and quicksand. Running in mud. Maximizing the process. So ask questions. Let me give you 5 simple things in the business acumen. Who, what, when, where, why. Couple advantages: how, the percentage, the cost, and the execution. You can rewind that. Those are things that will help you be more balanced in making your decisions to keep your elite focus. Because Paul writes and says, he says, now understand, be not again, which means most of the time we get trapped by what we're familiar with. It's like getting back with a tiger or a lion or a hyena. It still has teeth. It will bite. Or like a shark. You don't know when it's going to attack. Because you know what? It just rides right along with you and you forget about it. And when you least think about it, you become someone else's meal. Elite focus. Just not with your sight, but with your faith. Now, this is going to sting a little bit. Number 5, don't steal time from the infrastructure or building the infrastructure and the process. Yes, everybody likes the shiny car. Everybody likes the shiny things. But without the infrastructure, nothing can run. What is the infrastructure? It's the small things people don't see. And so sometimes you're in infrastructure stage and you're trying to build. And it's just you. It's silence. There's no cheering squad. There's no fans in the stand. You're trying to get your stuff to the racetrack. You're trying to get your stuff on the road. People don't see that. Most people only see the finish line. They don't know what it took to prepare. It's just like Formula One. I'm a big Formula One person, and I think they race in about an hour or so. And if you haven't prepared and prepped the vehicle, watch this, for the type of track that you own, it will not perform. So this is why I'm saying you have to do not steal time from the infrastructure. You have to reposition yourself for every situation. What does that mean? Your last response can't be the response for now. Your response for something that looks similar cannot be the response for now. It can't be a new response if you don't have new information. This is why transformational information is critical. You need to keep an open download from heaven to receive a level of revelation for a situation that appeared that you weren't prepared for. So what happens is you just respond out of the old you. And the old you were not focused. You have to respond out of the new you. The Bible talks about becoming a new creature. So you have to have new information in order to solve present issues. If everything you have is dated, and this is what people don't understand about AI. AI is not the future. AI gives you a summation of what was. You still have to handle what is, and it takes creativity to handle what's coming. You can get calculations for the past, but the past is what it is. It is the past. AI can give you a reference, but AI cannot build something that it has not had the data into it for it to be built. You still are in control, and it's going to take elite focus in order to get there. So now here's the thing. Don't steal time from your infrastructure and your process. In other words, work when nobody's looking and shut the door when they are, because they will distract you from being focused. Number 6, systems create sustainability. Sustainability creates stability. A path forward. I'll say it again. Systems. Most people don't have systems in their life. Let me give it to you in another term. Most people react rather than respond. Most people will take off and try to handle something with what they handled the last 10 problems with. Feelings and emotions, anger, pent up frustrations. So what happens is, if there's no systems, because I've said this before, everything that comes at you does not deserve a response. No, you don't have to have everybody on your team. Some people would literally poison your team. No, you don't always have to have family involved in everything, because they don't have the same assignment that you have. You have to know that you must build a system. Now, AI is great for telling you about systems that have been built. And yes, you can pluck, but you still have to create. So I'm saying to you, systems create sustainability. Sustainability creates stability. If you're not stable, what's going to happen? And you're working for a path forward. Does this make sense? Yes. Number 7. Here is something. We're almost there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, we've done great. To everyone across the world, across the globe, everybody's facing something. Health, family, friends, economics, mental, physical, and everybody needs to pursue mental wellness. Do not hesitate to get a mental wellness checkup. But I want you to know, as I get ready to close, you have something to live for. You have something to fight for. This doesn't mean a physical fight. Hopefully we can stay out of that category. But which means you got to keep pushing for it. It's not coming to you. You got to develop it. You got to create it. You got to reposition it. You got to reposition your dreams, your thoughts. You got to do it. And you have something to protect. Yes, everyone needs a trust. Everyone needs a will. Everyone needs to see their value. If God put you on this earth, you have to get elite focus to understand your assignment. It is not the body you was put in. It is not the hair that's on your head or the hair that's not on your head. It's what's inside of you. It's greater and has more potential than the limitations on what's outside of you. So you have something to protect, your future. You have something to protect, your inheritance. You have something to protect, your space, your present, and your future. Stay away from things that don't matter. Stay away. And I've had to learn, and I tell people this all the time, for every question, there's not always an answer. For every question that you may have and every thought that runs through your mind, there's not always an answer. You just have to keep moving forward. Elite focus requires you to understand between the first and the last whistle, there are going to be things that happen that was totally unexpected. So what does it mean? Eyes on the end goal. Eyes on the end goal. You have to look at your finances for 2026. You have to look at what you're going to do. You have to look at who you are and who you are in God. You can be a very non-popular person in life, but you can be big in faith and in God. What does that mean? It's time to put your life together. When the Bible says that Galatians 5:1, stand fast in the liberty wherewith Christ has set you free, and be not again. The things that try to trap you are things that you're familiar with, and they bait you from your past, but have nothing to offer your future, let alone your present. So I say to you, eyes elite focus on the end goal. And last but not least, which we call number 10, it's okay to come through the trenches. It's okay. See, because when you watch movies has a great impact on your sight, your hearing, and your thoughts. And you see how they won, and you see them struggle, but you never equate to the struggle. You have to understand, for success to come, if you're building a business, if you're turning your life around, if you're working on your health, there are times that you're going to be in the trenches. And that is when you're building your infrastructure, when you're changing you, when you're discovering you're better than what you thought you were, when you're piecing back together your life and leaning on the relationship with God. You have to do that. Nobody's coming to do it. People can come and encourage you. People can give you a reprieve for a moment here, but you're responsible for staying focused in the trenches and elevating yourself to elite focus. In other words, I know I'm going to deal with an adversary, but the adversary is only a part of my process. My goal is still the same. That's where you've got to focus. Don't give away what people didn't earn. God bless you. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful, and I look forward to talking to you in the month of December. God bless you.